Will they fly me across the country? Conversations about mining. Hi, Jess. How are you?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Andrew. How you going?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. So this is a big question we get all the time. Will they fly me across the country? And I suppose the easiest way to answer it is that if you've got lots of experience and they need you for a job, they'll fly you pretty much anywhere. But if you're entry level,
Yeah.
just getting into the industry, you might really struggle with that. Yeah. Do you want to
Yeah.
flesh that out a little bit more?
Yeah, so that basically what Andrew said, if you're a skilled trade or you're an experienced operator, or you're maybe an engineer or like something like that they're desperate for, you can basically get flights from anywhere around Australia or New Zealand. They'll pay for your flights and they'll fly you in and out. If you're entry level and you don't have any experience, then the answer is usually no. You need to try and figure out if it's possible for you to relocate somewhere where there is more mines or where it's easier to get into a role, or you need to somehow try and figure out how you're covering your own flights between, the point of hire or the airport you fly from to site. Pre-COVID, that was a really common thing. I know loads of people from New Zealand are still doing it, but it was a lot more back then, and a lot more from interstate would pay for their own flights in between states, and then make their way to site. Wasn't really a big deal. But once everything happened with COVID, everyone got a bit more cautious because flights changed and things changed, and it got a lot harder to get those connecting flights to match, and people were missing flights. And so now it's not really the done thing. It is happening a little bit more, like Andrew and I were talking about it off camera. You're starting to see it loosen up a little bit more, and they're starting to consider applicants from other states or from New Zealand. But it's still basically a no. Like, you need to figure it out for yourself.
Yeah. What I found is that flying across the country, so, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, it's a hard no. But there's a lot of places in Queensland at the moment that are allowing people to fly up from Sydney and then jump the plane from Brisbane to the mine site, and from Melbourne up there to the mine site and go from there. So that's loosening up. I expect it to loosen up because there's just not enough workers over this side of the country. So they're going to have to, at some stage, start flying people around again. But what a lot of people do is, if they come over to Kalgoorlie, they temporarily relocate to Kalgoorlie. Obviously, you've got to tell them that you're going to there permanently, but a lot of people just go and find themselves some single person accommodation, and they end up doing longer swings. So they work their days off, and before they know where they are, they've got 6 or 12 months experience. And then you can, look for something a bit closer to home, or, you can negotiate to start flying. It doesn't take that much experience for them to start flying you around anymore, because they're that desperate for people in the right places. So I'm talking about hard rock underground and engineers, and, like you said, experienced fitters and all that sort of stuff. If you're on the surface or in iron ore or coal at the moment, then they've got the choice of people. So you've got to do what they want. Whereas with what we do in hard rock underground with gold and copper and all that sort of stuff, they just need bums in seats. So once you get some experience up, there's some negotiating power there. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So if you've got any more questions that you'd like answered, please send them through. And if you could share this video around and like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.
Thanks.